Hey guys, so today's video is going to be another declutter video. I feel like my decluttering process has been so long and drawn out in 2019. I'm like so ready to be done with it, but I feel like I've been doing it very thoughtfully this year because I haven't purchased anywhere near as much makeup as I normally do. I've really had the chance to pull out forgotten favorites or older products and give myself the chance to use them and either rediscover them or decide they no longer have a place in my makeup collection. I usually use my everyday makeup drawer videos as a way to do that. So these are products that were in my everyday makeup drawer that after testing them out, I realized they don't have a place in my collection any longer, so I will be decluttering them. So I thought first I would share them with you guys in today's video. I do have to go through and still declutter like 2 more drawers. I need to do face products and eye products. So if you're not sick of declutter videos, I'll definitely film that. I need to do it sooner rather than later so I can just be done. But in the meantime, let me share these products with you. So I am decluttering the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealers. I really liked these at one point. I have 2 different shades. I have Fair Neutral and also Light Warm. I've tried to incorporate these into my makeup routine and just use them, whether I was using them as a concealer or more of like a foundation, like I would spot conceal and blend it out. But over the past few months, I've discovered so many different concealers that I just love and I enjoy using so much that this really isn't a formula that I typically reach for. It's something that I have to force myself to use. So I'd rather just use products that I love and that I currently have instead of making myself use this one. It is something that I really enjoyed at one point. I just think at this point, there are so many concealers that I love and I can't wait to use that I don't need to keep this in my collection. So I decided to give the ColourPop No Filter Foundation another chance. Now I have talked about this on my channel. I think that I've mentioned it didn't work for me. For some reason, I couldn't declutter it because I wanted to love it. I really like ColourPop, but unfortunately, their foundation just doesn't agree with my skin type. I think the reason I held on to it is because it has such a beautiful finish when you first apply it. It looks absolutely gorgeous, but as the day goes on, it tends to break down on my skin. My skin looks so oily, so greasy, and I thought maybe during the winter it would look a little bit better because my skin isn't as oily, but it still looks really bad after a few hours. So I am officially done with this foundation. I just have to come to terms with the fact that it doesn't work for me, even though I want it to. It looks so beautiful when I first apply it, but it just doesn't wear well on me throughout the day. So I was testing the Too Faced High Shine Sparkling Lip Glosses. I have 2 shades. I have the color Raisin the Roof and then also the shade Social Butterfly. I'm so glad that I decided to only open 2 of these and then I gave the rest away because typically brands send their entire lip collection. They send every single color. And in the past, I would open all of them. I would swatch them. I might do like a swatch video on YouTube. And then I would only like 1 or 2, or I wouldn't even like the formula. So now when I get an entire collection sent to me as PR, I keep 2 shades. I donate some, I give away some. I just don't need entire lip product collections, but the formula is nice. It's a very smooth, glossy formula. It's very comfortable to wear. And I think if this was just like a cream lip gloss, I would absolutely love it. But these are glittery lip glosses. Glitter or even like shimmery glosses aren't typically my thing unless it's a very, very fine, almost undetectable shimmer. If you like glittery lip glosses, I think you would really enjoy this formula because it is a very smooth formula. It's the type of lip gloss that stays in place well, but it's not sticky. It's just a little bit thicker, so it will last on the lips, and it's really comfortable to wear. The packaging is so cute. The colors are beautiful, but like I said, they're a little bit too glittery for me. The next thing I'm decluttering is my Fenty Beauty Mademoiselle lipstick in the shade Spanked. There's nothing really wrong with this product. I think it is a pretty color. It's a nice texture. It's actually kind of similar to what I'm wearing today, but I just don't find that I reach for this product. I feel like it is a matte lipstick, but it's almost a little bit too creamy for me, which might be weird because if you're wearing a matte lip product, you might prefer something that is a little bit more comfortable. This is very lightweight. It's very comfortable to wear, but I just don't find myself reaching for it. I don't find that it has the best staying power. Like it kind of wears off on me because it is so creamy and lightweight, and it is a pretty color. So I'm sure my mom or one of my sisters would really enjoy this, and because I don't get a lot of use out of it, I'd rather just pass it along to one of them. I am decluttering my NYX Lingerie liquid lipsticks. I want to love these. I've had them in my everyday makeup drawer, but I just don't find myself reaching for them. I don't wear matte liquid lipsticks a lot these days, and when I do reach for them, I have very specific colors and very specific formulas that I like, so I find that a lot of the other liquid lipsticks in my collection have kind of gotten neglected, and I decluttered the majority of the ones that I don't wear, but these made it past my declutter, and that was a few months ago, and I really haven't touched them since I filmed that declutter video. I think it's mostly just the fact that I have my go-to formulas and my go-to shades, and this really isn't one of them. So instead of just keeping them in my makeup drawer, I'm just going to part with them and move on and be done with them. These are not a product that I want to declutter, but I just don't use them. These are the Becca mineral blushes. Actually, two of them are mineral blushes. One is a luminous blush. This is actually a really good blush formula. I want to say it's one of my favorites, but at the same time, it's not something that I reach for a whole lot, so I don't know that it actually is one of my favorites. I just feel like when I'm going for more of a neutral blush, I typically reach for either Hourglass. I have a Milani blush that's similar. I have a Flower Beauty blush that's similar. I don't typically reach for these. I think they're maybe just like a shade or two too dark for me. Like, they're very pigmented blushes, and I just prefer something a little bit more natural looking. I don't know. I mean, the formula is so good. There's no reason why I don't reach for them other than the fact that I have other blushes that I like more. But the Becca blushes are beautiful. They're blendable, they're pigmented, they're gorgeous, they're so pretty on the skin. But because they're not getting a lot of love in my collection, I'm going to pass them along to somebody else. I'm also decluttering the Tarte Skin Twinkle Lighting Palette. This is actually a really beautiful palette, and I did use it for a long time. I especially love this shade. It's such a weird texture. It kind of feels like sandpaper, but it's like a really nice yellow color correcting shade that I would use to carve out my contour. The highlighters are beautiful too. There's nothing essentially wrong with this palette, and I think when you declutter, there doesn't have to be anything wrong with the product, but if it's not something that you use, does it really have a place in your collection? And for me, I do use this, but I have so many other products that I would rather reach for that I almost feel like I have to convince myself to use this. And I just don't want it to be like that. I want it to be fun. Like, every time I open up my drawer, I want to grab a highlighter and have fun using it. And while this is beautiful, it's just not like my perfect highlight palette. So I'd rather just pass it along, and I'm sure somebody else will enjoy it more than I do. The last product that I'm decluttering is an eyeshadow palette. I actually skipped over this, or I didn't skip over this. It made it through my eyeshadow palette declutter, but even as I was editing that video, I was like, why did I keep that palette? I'm not going to use it. I just don't need to hang on to it. So I decided to declutter it after filming that video, but this is the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar Palette. I think for me, I just loved this palette for so long. It was my favorite palette when I first started YouTube, and it really does have beautiful colors in it, but at this point, I just have other palettes. I'm sure that I have almost all of these colors in another palette, and this one's getting old. I never reach for it. I told myself that I was going to put it in my everyday makeup drawer and use it. I'm not going to. It is time to declutter it. It's time to move on. Those are all of the products that I'm decluttering. Sometimes I feel like declutter videos are so dramatic, like my declutter videos, like it's just makeup. If I'm not using it, get rid of it. But it is hard to declutter products that you spent your money on, and makeup's expensive. And sometimes it kind of sucks when you purchase something and it doesn't end up working out for you because you want it to work for you. You want to love it, but you might not. And I think for me, it just kind of reinforces the fact that I need to think through my purchases more carefully. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, sometimes it's time for it to go. I've had it for a while, I used it, I loved it, and it no longer serves a purpose. You don't have to finish up every single makeup product in your collection. I think it's a good goal to purchase products with the intention of using them fully, but like with this palette, I spent like $50 on it. I totally got $50 worth out of this product, so it's okay to part with it. At the same time, I am trying to reduce waste in my life in general. So I do think it's important to kind of think through purchases and not just buy makeup and add to my collection arbitrarily. But anyways, I feel like where am I going with this? Thank you guys so much for watching my declutter video. I don't know, decluttering is fun, but sometimes it really is a thought process. So I would love to hear your thoughts if you guys have been decluttering, if you have been getting rid of products in your collection or just kind of narrowing it down. I would love to hear how it's going for you. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will cut it off here and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.